the main goal of the Beautified Project was to represent Armenia in the world with the international language, which is English.
I'm sorry again. Why Beautified Project?
I think if I got a penny for every time I told that story, I would be a very rich man. When I was studying English literature for lyrics writing, I fell in love with Shakespeare, and I did a 3-month course only analyzing Hamlet, like every word, every sentence. And there was a line there which, when Hamlet, I don't know if you know the story or not, but Hamlet pretends to be crazy. So he writes a letter to his fiancée saying, "Oh, my beautified princess." And when one of the servants is reading this letter for Ophelia, he says, "What's beautified? Like, there's no such word as beautified in English." Back then it was a wrong word. I mean, now it's in the dictionary. So beautified, like it appealed to me because, you know, it has a certain darkness and dogma in it, but at the same time it's a beautiful word. The other reason I chose the Beautified Project was because in the late 90s, internet was the big thing. And it was very important to choose a name that was easy to search. Now, if I chose a name like, I don't know, something crazy rock thing like High on Fire or something like that, you put it on Google, you get so many things, like you get ashtrays and, you know, fireplaces and all that. But with Beautified Project, it's the first thing that comes up on Google, so it makes life very easy for me and our promoter. Yes?
What does inspire you mostly? Write music based on lyric or write lyric based on music?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a very professional question, actually. For me, the lyrics is more important. I always look at music as a complement for the lyrics. And I can't listen to any music that I don't understand. I enjoy it, like I enjoy listening to Aznavour, but I can't listen to it for over an hour because I don't know what it's saying. You know, melodies are not enough for me. But at the same time, I love listening to music that is more about words. Like I like Arthur Meshian, Ruben Hakhverdian, and similar artists who are British or American, like Damien Rice. You know Damien Rice or Tom McRae? Yeah. So I base my music around the lyrics. And one of the most difficult things for me was when we were writing our second album. Armen told me he has a song. I said, "What do you mean you have a song?" He said, "I've written the whole music. All I need you is to put lyrics on the song." And basically I asked him to la 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 over it with the melody he liked. Then I could put the lyrics on it. But it was a very new experience for me because I usually compose the music and the lyrics at the same time. But I had to compose just the lyrics on the melody that he had chosen. And I loved doing that. So then Arlen wrote a song. I said, "Okay, great. You compose the music, I'll write lyrics on it."
If you have asked to write music based on lyric other offer, will you do it?
I would love to do it, but I couldn't. I can't. Every lyrics that I write is from my own life experience. Like even if it's not about me, it's about something that I've seen with my own eyes, a situation or a tragedy or something. So I might be able to write it, but it won't be good. It won't be good, yeah. So as I was saying, I noticed that Armenia hadn't offered the world any artists in the recent years. I'm not talking about the past. We have Komikas and ShantTV and Armen and Arlen, but in recent years, you don't see a musician who is big and famous in the world and is from Armenia. People argue and say we have Aznavour, we have Cher, we have System of a Down. But believe me, when you live in those countries, most people don't know they're Armenians. Like System of a Down is huge in England, but most people know them as an American band. Unless if you're Armenian, they know, oh, they're Armenian, they have a yan at the end of their surname. Also, their product is being produced in foreign countries. So what System of a Down is doing, by the way, I'm a huge fan, I love them, I've seen them so many times, but it can't be considered Armenian rock because it has the American mentality. It's a product of America. Although they are doing amazing stuff for Armenia, they're covering Armenian songs. So we decided to do what ABBA did for Sweden or Scorpions did for Germany, to represent our country with the international language, which is English. Hi, come in. It's been a 9 years journey. Next year our band will be 10 years old, and I think we have managed to do what we want to do on a very small scale, with our own finances, with our own art, and with our own management and production. I mean, I really feel bad when they call us on the stage to give us an award. Like, I always think, what am I going to say on the stage? Because everybody goes up there and says, thanks to our director, blah, blah, thanks to our producer. And like, we go there, I'm like, I always thank Beautified Family because seriously, it was very difficult for us in the first 2 years. I would go to TV stations with our music videos. They wouldn't even notice me. Like, I'll be like, can you please check this music video? It's English music, it's the first time. There has never been like English albums in Armenia, check it out. They'll be like, oh, that's great, oh, ShantTV, and I would never hear from them. So the only reason TV started notice us was because of our fan base. I mean, they would hear there's this band who's selling out clubs, and then we started playing Tiknikain without any TV support. Like, nobody mentioned us on TV. So they started thinking, okay, we need to notice these guys, otherwise it's gonna be bad for us, So I remember the first TV station that really did great things for us was ShantTV, because the head of ShantTV came to one of our club concerts, and 2 days later he called me. He was like, I need to see you, come here. And he said, I want you to produce Armenian Superstar. I want you to bring all your music videos here. We'll show them because this is good for our new generation. They'll learn a lot of things from your music, and we'll have more bands in a few years. And now in Armenia we have quite a few bands that are very good. I go and see them. They're like 20-year-old kids, but they're playing very good modern music. They're not just covering Led Zeppelin stuff and they're contributing to Armenian culture because they're producing product in Armenia. It doesn't matter if it's in English or what,
Which bands do you mean? Which bands do you mean?
The most recent bands I've seen was a band called Nemra, which is like Arman. And there is another band called Drive Dreamers. They write their own English songs, and they sound very good as kids. I mean, if they continue, in 4 or 5 years' time, they're going to be very good.
Are those rock bands or?
You know what? The reason they called us rock when we started was because we had guitars. I mean, I listened to our first album. I'm thinking, why were we, selected as the best rock band? We were not even rock. Our first album is on rock. But when I came to Armenia, I went to a concert. at Opera House. I was so excited. I'm going to see like Shushan Petrosyan and I don't remember, there were four singers. And I went there and there was no band on the stage. It was my first time that I was going to a concert, paying a lot of money and seeing one singer standing in the middle of a huge stage and sing. So when we started playing concerts, they were like, oh, they're rock, you know, they have a drummer, they have a... But you know, any style of music you can play with guitars and drums and piano, you don't need to be rock.
So how do you define your music? What is your genre of music, if it's not rock?
Our first and second album were alternative acoustic music, because it wasn't exactly singer-songwriter stuff. There were elements of pop in there, and there were elements of new wave, but gradually we got labeled as rock. And since I'm a big heavy rock fan, we decided, you know, to have a go and, you know, write more rock songs. So our third album, which came out a few months ago, it's a proper rock album, and it's the first time I can say, you know, we have a rock album.
And will your music go heavier? Will your music go heavier?
You know, I felt quite angry when I was writing this album, so it went heavy. But we hadn't, you know, we don't go and decide, okay, we're gonna record a rock album to make it very heavy. We really loved working on heavy songs. And the more I grow up, the more I become a contrast of myself. So I listen to very, very minimalistic music, like one acoustic guitar and a singer singing for 2 hours. Or really like heavy dark rock, like even like black metal or thrash metal. So it's going to be a big contrast. Like we have a concert on 25th of January in Uyghanian Club. It's going to be like acoustic guitars and cello. But then in March we're going to have a proper rock concert. And I love doing them both. They're both very exciting for me.
At first time, what did motivate you to start to write songs? Your work with media or your traditional education?
I used to write poetry when I was 11, 12 years old because my grandmother was a poet. And I always wanted to put music to my poetries. The very first song that I wrote was just to be able to play guitar and sing, because that's a cool thing to do. And I always mention it, like people, when we live our lives, we usually hide behind different masks. Some people love to collect a lot of money and buy nice cars, and that becomes their happy mask. Some people want to have lots of degrees, and when they talk to their friends, they say, I have a PhD, I chose music as my mask because it makes me feel good to write music, and also because I see the world as a very decaying, rusty thing. Like whatever you have in the world, whatever is beautiful, it dies. So I thought if I create sound, it's never gonna die. You can't touch sound. You know, it can be MP3 or wave, or maybe in 10 years it'll be MP10 or whatever, but it's sound, you know, you can't touch sound.
Maybe it will sound professional, but I would like to know how you manage the process of writing with media, or writing notes, or making partiture.
When I studied music, I used to be able to write 3-part, 5-part harmonies with notations. That was the music theory that I learned. If you give a paper to me, I won't be able to write a 2-part harmony now, because for years I haven't worked with notes. I learned the notes, I learned all the rules, and then I started breaking them. And it's important to know the rules so you can break them properly. When I write a song now, I don't sit and write notes. I write chords, So when I wake up the next morning, I remember what I wrote last night. And then this is our principle. I write songs on acoustic guitar because I don't play piano. I take them to Armen and Arlen, and they arrange the songs. They know exactly how to arrange them. Armen is a great harmony maker. He's great in understanding harmony. So he knows if I'm singing this, he's gonna sing that without even mentioning it to me. I start singing, he sings the right thing. Arlen is amazing with melodies. So he writes the best intros. For example, when I wrote Stupid Love Song, I really didn't know how to start the song. I didn't have an intro for it. I started with a chord. So Arlen told me, give me a few days, I'll work something out. So I went to see him and he went like, da-da-dum, 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 and like perfect, you know, it's the first thing, you know. We play that, people know the song. So it's important to, you know, have that team of composers, lyricists, arrangers, and also the fourth thing, which is very important when you create music, is the person that you take your music to, and he records it. Now, if I took my music to a studio which records like Arthur Meshian, even our music is gonna start sounding grubby. So the producer needs to understand what rock music is, what's the mentality, what's the attitude of rock music, to be able to record what you have in your mind. Because, you know, if I say there's a big circle in the air, you might imagine something completely different with a big circle in the air. So it's very important to communicate.
Which are your favorite bands, rock bands, or other? Yes, and today inspire you.
I grew up listening to so many different types of music because part of my music studies was world music. So we would listen to Chinese music, Japanese music, we would listen to African music. So every instrument interests me, but my favorite bands are the bands that create dark music away from love songs and stuff like that. Like bands like Paradise Lost, Anathema, My Dying Bride, Catatonia.
Korn?
Korn. Yeah, Korn, yeah. When I was young, I loved Korn, yeah. I can't listen to them anymore.
May I ask
Yes?
something? I like the way how you introduced the song Kilikia, and I wonder, are you going to introduce some other Armenian songs by your own style and way?
I think if I say no to that, people will kill me. Kilikia was an accidental success thing because we hadn't decided to do it. When we were playing in London, some of you know this story. The British broadcasting agency BBC told us they're going to come and make a documentary about us. So we decided to shed some light on Armenian genocide by performing an Armenian song. So the day before the concert, at 2 a.m., me, Armen and Arlen were sitting and deciding what song to play. And Kilikia has always been one of my favorite Armenian songs. And we kept playing and playing and playing, and my mom was in the kitchen. And she kept saying, you know, you're terrible, you shouldn't sing this song. Stick with your English songs because, you know, you don't feel this song. And then we kept playing. It was about 5 in the morning. Armen did that. I was like, okay, this is something new. We're not just covering and copying something. We are adding something to this music. So I always credit Armen for, you know, changing that song a little bit, making it more modern. So we performed it, BBC filmed it, and they put it on internet. And I can't tell you how many emails and messages I got from America, from Lebanon, from Iran, saying, you know, you should definitely record this song, you know, this is amazing and stuff. So I got some sponsor from America telling me, we can invest $4,000 on this song if you record it and make a perfect music video for it, so we can premiere it during the Armenian telethon. And I went to the guys and said, we have the money, we have the song, there is no reason not to do it, let's do it. And to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting it to be this big. Like, even Germans love that song. Like,
I'm not surprised, but I like your version more than the original.
thank you very much.